Hello, I'm Ellis. Welcome to the channel. It's Wednesday, the 12th of June, 2024. It's currently around about 13 degrees Celsius, 55 degrees Fahrenheit. That can only mean one thing. It's time for another E-trip. And like I said, adventure can be found literally on your doorstep. It can be 10 minutes away. It can be half an hour away. It just so happens that today we're actually venturing an hour away. We're going to a charming, mysterious, medieval village. One of the prettiest villages in England, if the truth be known, called Blanchland in Northumberland. And as we get a little bit closer to the village, I'll tell you a little bit more about why we're going. There's a lot of paranormal activity at foot today, guys. It's going to be spooky, it's going to be atmospheric, and I'm taking you along on the journey with me. But not only that, my daughter's joining me as well. So we're going to have Lara along, helping out with the filming. Come join us. Let's have a whole heap of fun. Spooky fun at that.
In the heart of Northumbria, where the mist clings to the moor, lies a village cloaked.
Right, we're cruising through the British countryside, a couple of minutes outside of our today's destination, Blanchland, the village with a huge history and lots of mystery. There's maybe a ghost or two, or three, or four. Now, there's a lot of ghost stories in Blanchland, none more so than the ghost of a monk in the Abbey who's looking for his lost manuscript. I can't say I blame him, to be honest, because I think if I lost my life's work, I'd be pretty miffed as well. Also, a spectral horseman who strolls through the village at night. Imagine if you were staying over in this village and you went out for a late night stroll and all of a sudden, boom, horseman. I know I'd freak out. I don't know about you guys. So we're not too far out from the village now. We're just about to come into the village, where we'll have a stroll around and we'll discover the sights, the sounds, the history, the mystery of arguably England's most haunted village. Come along and join me and we'll have some fun. Welcome to Blanchland, this charming little village in Northumberland that holds a few spooky secrets, to be honest. You see, while England is renowned for its many paranormal stories, castles with ghosts, headless horsemen, and the occasional phantom pub regular, Blanchland kind of takes a spectral cake. Yep, this picturesque hamlet is officially, and I'm going to go on record here and say, England's most haunted village. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can a place that looks like it belongs on a chocolate box cover be crawling with ghosts? Well, that's exactly why it's so terrifying. The ghosts here are masters of blending in, much like me at an all-you-can-eat buffet. They might be behind that charming cottage window, lurking in the shadows of the Abbey, or even right beside me on this very bridge. Boo! But fear not. Today, I'm going to unravel the spooky mysteries of Blanchland as I delve into ghostly tales, meet the friendliest phantoms, and perhaps even catch a glimpse of something out of this world. So grab your ghost hunting gear, keep your wits about you, and let's cross into the land where history and hauntings go hand in hand. So we've actually come into Blanchland Abbey now. I mean, this building was founded in 1165 by the Premonstratensians. Try saying that fast 5 times. Now, the monks wore white woolen habits, which is why this place is called Blanchland or Whiteland. Original, right? Now, the Abbey had struggled on in this remote, lonely setting for centuries. So can you imagine trying to get your Amazon packages delivered out here? Picture it, you get a notification. Your package will arrive in the next century. Now, the Abbey's serene existence was shattered by none other than Henry VIII in 1536, when he decided basically that monasteries were overrated, and he had them all dissolved. Talk about a bad breakup. But don't worry, the monks left their mark, quite literally. The churchyard at the front of the Abbey, which we'll have a look at in a minute, is said to have a mass grave from a savage raid by the border reivers, the Scots. So it's kind of like Game of Thrones, but with monks. Who needs dragons when you have foggy moors and ghostly apparitions? So the story goes, I've been wandering around here and I'm reflecting, and the story goes that on the night in question, the border reivers, the Scots, came down specifically to Blanchland because they wanted to sack this place. They wanted the treasure, they wanted what was here. They were literally going to take it for themselves. But as they descended into the Derwent Valley, an eerie, misty fog suddenly enveloped the whole valley, and the Scots were lost. They didn't know where they were going. So they had no luck. So they decided to turn around, retreat back to where they came from. Now, this is where the story gets really fascinating. Knowing that the monks had outwitted the border reivers, they decided to ring the bells in a joyous celebration. Unfortunately, the peal of the bells, you know where this is going, pricked up the ears of the border reivers. They turned around, came back, came into the monastery and massacred every last monk to a man. I'm trying to imagine what that would have been like for the monks when the border reivers were coming in and attacking them. Were they thinking about themselves? Were they trying to protect the monastery, the abbey? Were they trying to protect the treasure within? I guess we'll never know. But it's fascinating though, nonetheless. Just being in here definitely has some kind of a spooky vibe. It's just the silence. I could imagine that I could hear chanting very, very low, very quietly. I know there's a cockerel outside, I can hear that. But for a split second, I could have swore that was a monk's chant. Or is it just me? This is a very spooky church, I'll certainly say that. Now local historians know that the monks were buried. There's a mass grave somewhere in Blanchland itself. No one's exactly sure where that is, but the rumours are that this cross that we're looking at here marks the site of the mass grave of the slaughtered monks. That sent a shudder up my spine. I don't know about you guys. Could you imagine the scene then? Savage raiders, a miraculous fog descending, monks ringing bells in joyous thanks, and then, darn it, the raiders find the abbey and massacre the monks. Moral of the story, I guess, don't ring bells when hiding. Local legend says that on certain days of the year, the church bells can be heard ringing by themselves, and the ghostly figures of the murdered monks drift around the graveyard. There you go, just your typical quaint village folklore, guys. Perfect for a romantic evening stroll, don't you think? And now, the piece de resistance, the Lord Crewe Arms, which was once the abbot's guest house and kitchen. Now it's a cosy, atmospheric hotel. Can you imagine checking in though and finding out that your room comes with a complimentary ghost? It's got everything, this place. It's got a barrel vaulted crypt bar, massive stone fireplaces, and not to mention ghosts. Lots of ghosts. Who needs room service when you've got Dorothy Forster? I've come out into the beer garden of the Lord Crewe Arms. It's actually quite a nice day. The sun's broke through again. So I'm going to sit out here with Lara. I'm going to go inside and have a wander around. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the story of Dorothy Forster in a moment, and then we can go and have a look at the rooms where paranormal activity has been detected. So in the Lord Crewe Arms, the resident ghost is a Dorothy Forster. Now she's been haunting the Bamber Room, one of the hotel rooms that you can actually stay in, since she helped her brother Tom escape from Newgate Prison. The thing is, she's been waiting for somebody to tell her that it's safe for Tom to come back. Spoiler alert, Tom's been dead for centuries, Dorothy. But her story is straight out of a historical drama. Tom's kind of been a reluctant commander in the Jacobite uprising. He surrendered without a fight, got imprisoned, and then escaped with Dorothy's help. And where did they hide him? In the Lord Crewe Arms, of course, in a secret priest's hole, because nothing says welcome like a hidden hole in the fireplace. Now here's a fun fact. The Lord Crewe Arms boasts not one, not two, but 3 haunted rooms. And let's not forget the mysterious monk sighting. One American lady swore she saw a monk at the foot of a bed. Solid, but also melting away. And then there's old Tom, the friendly ghost who lights fires. One lady heard him walking around, but surprise, Tom had died months earlier. I guess even ghosts need hobbies. And another thing, when you do come to visit Blanchland, if you want a break from the ghosts and the mystique and the mystery of the place, I certainly recommend the White Monk Tea Room and Cafe. The soup is delicious. Now I'm going to tell you a story about 20 years ago, when I was a lot younger, in my 30s. I came here one Halloween, thereabouts, it was a few days before Halloween. I came here with a friend and we wandered, we knew the tales and we knew the stories of Blanchland. And we came specifically to come to the Abbey and to come to the graveyard where I'm stood right now. And then we sat on a bench and we had a hot chocolate, sat around trying to see if we could see anything paranormal. Nothing happened. We were on our way out. We walked up the path away from the Abbey. Just as we got to the gate, it was eerily silent. About 10 o'clock at night. We heard what can only be described as chanting coming from the back of the Abbey. Several men chanting, monks. Needless to say, we flew back in the car, drove out of Blanchland at 1,000,000 miles an hour. How's that for investigative ghost hunting? Bravery? Not. True story. So that's going to do it from the village of Blanchland, which is literally in the middle of nowhere, but is probably the most haunted village in the whole of England. Ghosts abound here, the stories are legendary. Google it, you'll learn all about this place. The Lord Crewe Arms, Dorothy Forster, the white monks that were massacred by the border reivers. The atmosphere, you can just sense it. This was a lovely summer's day in mid-June, yet the atmosphere was eerie. I could detect something. I don't know what it was. Remember, I do have history here. Now the bridge itself is going to be the last part of the village that we leave. But bridges, crossroads, these intersections where roads, fences, perimeters meet, are generally hotspots for paranormal activity. And there's no coincidence that the horsemen and the monks have been seen regularly striding over the bridge. They just seem to be attracted to these meeting points. And on that note, I hope you've enjoyed another e-trip. Remember, keep wandering and keep wondering. And I'll be back for another e-trip really soon. Enjoy the music.
In the heart of Northumbria, where the mist clings to the moor, lies a village cloaked in mystery, with tales of yore. Blanchland Blanchland's Abbey whispers of monks in robes of white who met their tragic fate one dark and fateful night. Oh, the bells of Blanchland ring through the centuries, echoes of the white cannon's prayers carried by the breeze. The ghosts of the fallen linger in the air. In the most haunted village, do you dare to venture there? The border reivers thunder with fury in their eyes. The monks final their last mournful cry. In the Abbey's shadowed corners, their spirits find no peace. A tale of devotion forever to be released. All the bells of Blanchland ring through the centuries, echoes of the night, and its prayers carried by the breeze. The ghosts of the fallen linger in the air. In the most haunted village, do you dare to venture there? At the Lord Crewe arms, I sat beside her in my hand, hoping for a glimpse of Dorothy in this haunted land. 3 resident spirits weave the tale so old. In flickering candlelight, their stories unfold. Dorothy Forster wanders through the ancient halls, her heart forever bound within these weathered walls. With every creak and whisper, the past comes alive. In Blanchland's haunted village, where shadows thrive. All the bells of Blanchland ring through the centuries, echoes of the light, and its prayers carried by the breeze. The ghosts of the fallen linger in the air. In the most haunted village, do you dare to venture there? So come to Blanchland, where history hauntings land, walk among the spirits with the ghostly tales and Abbey at the end, where memories intertwine in the atmosphere of charm, in these films